Okay, I think we can go ahead and start this meeting. So, good evening, everybody. It is Tuesday, May 12th, 2026, and the time is approximately 6:30 p.m. My name is Jose Tamana, and I'm the hearing officer designee at this hearing for the Montgomery County Department of Transportation, MCDOT, for the Norwood Road shared use path from MD108 Olney Sandy Spring Road to Ashton Forest Way project in the Sandy Spring area. Here with me this evening to conduct this hearing are Mr. Joseph Mogus, who is the Chief of MCDOT's Division of Transportation Engineering, DTE, Mr. Dara Soam, the Planning and Design Section Chief of DTE, Ms. Rebecca Park, Transportation Engineering Unit Manager of DTE, Mr. Huang Nguyen, I may have pronounced that wrong, but I'm sorry if I did, a Project Manager of DTE. Mr. Mogus will provide information and details on the proposed project. Thank you for joining us on this virtual platform. Tonight's hearing is being broadcast via Zoom and recorded. A link to the recording will be posted on the project website within 24 hours after tonight's hearing. The link to the project webpage is provided by scanning the QR code at the top of the chat. Please note that your video camera is turned off by default this evening. This is to reduce the bandwidth of the meeting and maximize technical efficiency. We request that you do not turn on your camera during the hearing. Likewise, your microphones have also been muted. Once the testimony portion of this hearing begins, those who wish to testify can raise their hand, and you will be called on and unmuted when it's your turn to speak. If you are joining us via telephone only, you may raise your hand by pressing *9 on your telephone keypad. Please wait until the testimony portion of this hearing to raise your hand. You may raise your hand at any time during the testimony portion of the hearing. We will call on you to provide your oral testimony when it is your turn to speak. Written testimony and comments may also be submitted and will be considered on the same weight as oral testimony. Following the testimony portion of this hearing, we will hold a question and answer session if time allows. Please reserve all questions until after the testimony portion of this hearing. During the Q&A, you may raise your hand to ask a question. Alternatively, you may type your question in the chat box at any time during tonight's hearing by clicking on the chat icon at the bottom of your screen. Tonight's hearing is being held pursuant to Section 49-53 of the Montgomery County Code. The purpose of a public hearing is to obtain resident testimony on the project's design. Your testimony should focus entirely on the project under discussion. All interested persons are entitled to be heard at this hearing. However, the testimony portion of this hearing is not a forum for dialogue, questions and answers, or cross-examination. Please direct your remarks to the specific project that is the subject of this hearing. If comments stray into areas unrelated to the project, I will ask that you refocus them. Following the conclusion of this public hearing, the record will remain open for 1 month to allow any person who was unable to attend to have their testimony included in the public record and be fully considered. The official closing date by which all written testimony must be received is Friday, June 12th, 2026 at 6:30 p.m. Submissions should be provided by the online comment form on the project website, which can be accessed by scanning the QR code on your screen or by email to Juan Nguyen, whose email is shown by the close of the hearing record. Please be sure to provide your name and property address on your submission. Once again, written submissions will be considered with the same weight as oral testimony. After the hearing is concluded and the record is officially closed, I, as hearing officer, will review and weigh all the information submitted to the public record and make a recommendation to the Director of the Montgomery County Department of Transportation, Christopher Conklin, for his decision regarding the final detailed design of the project. And now to discuss the Norwood Shared Use Path project, I give you Mr. Joseph Mogues.
Good evening, Mr. Tamana, ladies and gentlemen. I am Joseph Mogues with Montgomery County Department of Transportation, Division of Transportation Engineering. The subject of this evening's public hearing is to consider a proposal to construct a shared use path along Norwood Road in Sandy Spring. For your convenience, we have posted a few displays that aid in visualizing this project and can be downloaded from the project webpage. We will review them as I describe the project. Display A is a project vicinity map. The blue line represents the project limits. The project segment spans along Norwood Road from the intersection with Maryland 108 Olney Sandy Spring Road to Ashton Forest Way. The total length of the project is approximately 1,400 feet. The next two slides provide a simplified plan view of the design. For tonight's presentation, we will use close-up images of the simplified plan as I highlight several key features. Display B1 shows the segment of the project from Maryland 108 to approximately the midpoint of the project limits. Note that the display is rotated to fit the page with north to the left. Sorry, 1 second. A shared use path is proposed along the west side of Norwood Road. The yellow hatching represents the proposed permeable pavement of the shared use path, and the solid gray represents the proposed asphalt pavement of the shared use path. The gray hatchings indicate residential driveways that the project construction will impact. They will be constructed in concrete. The shared use path will be separated from motorist traffic by a green buffer, as shown in the green hatching on this display. Display B2 continues from the midpoint to the southern end of the project limits. The southern end of the project connects to the existing shared use path along Norwood Road. As previously mentioned, the solid gray represents the proposed shared use path in asphalt, and the gray hatching represents reconstructed portions of the residential driveways in concrete. The pink represents the underground storm drain system designed to convey the stormwater runoff affected by the project. Display C shows the proposed typical section. The travel lanes remain the same as the existing condition. On the west side, there will be a 2-foot curb and gutter, a 6-foot grass buffer, and a 10-foot wide shared use path. This project is part of the county's bicycle master plan and the Sandy Spring Ashton master plan. The project is funded for final design and construction under the Bikeway Program Minor Projects, CIP number 507596. Presently, there is no dedicated pedestrian and cyclist path along the segment of Norwood Road north of Ashton Forest Way. Those who wish to travel along this segment must share the road with motorists or walk along the roadside. This is inherently unsafe and uncomfortable for pedestrians and cyclists. This project provides a 10-foot wide, safe, low-stress shared use path along the west side of Norwood Road, separated from motorist traffic by a grass buffer, and connects to the existing shared use path. Along with other area projects, once constructed, the project will complete the Heritage Triangle Trail, providing access to nearby schools, places of worship, and other commercial and public facilities in Olney, Sandy Spring, and Ashton. A public meeting was held on September 25th, 2024. The community at large supported the project. The project was also presented to the Planning Board for mandatory referral on May 1st, 2025, and was supported by the board. The total cost of this project is currently estimated at $2.5 million, including design, land acquisition, site improvement, utilities, and construction. There are no properties that are considered to be specially benefited by the proposed improvement. Therefore, no properties are expected to be assessed. Several exhibits are incorporated into the public record binder for your information and consideration. The exhibits include 1. Office of Management and Budget, Bikeway Program Minor Projects, P507596. 2. Design plans at the level of 90% completion with the latest revisions. 3. Written testimony provided before and after this public hearing to be added following this hearing. 4. Washington Times newspaper ad on April 28th and on May 5th, 2026. Online advertisement proof and Montgomery County governmental online press release circulated starting April 24th and posted to various social media sites. 5. List of attendees to be added following this hearing. And 6. Hearing transcript also to be added following the hearing. Project-related data and files can be downloaded from the project webpage by scanning the QR code shown on the screen. The files will remain available to the public until the record for this public hearing is officially closed. As previously stated, here with us this evening are Mr. Dara Soom, Ms. Rebecca Park, and Mr. Wong Wen of MCDOT. In addition, we have Mr. Michael Mercado from Mercado Consultants, Inc., the county's design consultant, present at this hearing. We will be available after the hearing to answer any questions regarding the construction aspects of this project. And now I will turn things back over to Mr. Tamana.
Thank you, Mr. Mogus. We will now hear testimony from those in attendance who wish to testify. Please reserve all questions for the Q&A session after the testimony portion of this hearing. We will begin with those who have pre-registered to testify. If you did not register to testify but changed your mind at any time during this hearing, please raise your hand. Attendees will be invited to speak in the order in which hands were raised. If you joined tonight's hearing by phone, you may dial *9 from your telephone keypad to raise your hand and *6 to unmute yourself once invited to speak. Please clearly provide your name and address for the record before beginning your testimony. Lori Main, our host this evening, will announce the speakers.
All right, good evening, everyone. First, we have, and I apologize if I mispronounce your name, Mr. Ed Awney. Can you unmute yourself, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
All right, very good. Can I start now?
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you for this opportunity. My name is Ed Downey. My wife and I own the property on 17617 Norwood Road. It's a property that is actually not on Norwood Road, but behind the houses that are on Norwood Road, set back a little bit. I've been working with the county for probably a year now, with the county and with the consultant, Mr. Mercado, to try to resolve this issue. The issue being, well, first of all, we support the project in terms of the walkway. I think it's a great idea. I think it's a great amenity for the people and for the neighborhood. We do have an objection on the design, whereby the design calls for collecting water from curb and gutter and dumping it on our property. The whole, all water collected there. In the past year, I've been trying to resolve this issue collaboratively with the county for several meetings and memos and going back and forth. But unfortunately, we couldn't reach a resolution. So I was forced to hire a consultant, a civil engineer, stormwater management consultant. I paid for that consultant to try to work with the county and their consultant to resolve this issue. And this issue continues. I recently, I think today or yesterday, we sent a memo to the county and to your consultant and to Mr. Hong, the project manager, outlining our concerns with the property or with the design of dumping all the water collected on our property without really consideration to our concerns. I mean, the only consideration that was given in the past was that the county would fund building a berm on our property between the house and the stream that we have running in our property somewhere in the middle. And my wife and I didn't feel that this is an appropriate solution because visually it will separate the property into two pieces. So we didn't agree with that approach. We do, as I said, we do support the project, and we have outlined all the concerns in the memo, and it's a technical memo. I don't want to go through it. You have it in writing. I want to jump to the solution. Hopefully, I can convince the county of that solution. We have a stream in our property, and that's where the water being collected in the public road being dumped on our property because we have a stream there. The stream bisects our property and making two pieces. And that doesn't lend itself to giving you an easement. The county suggested an easement so that they can take care of the maintenance, operation and maintenance of that stream. It's really a ditch that is about a foot deep, 2 feet wide, maybe. So I suggested that the county, instead of building a berm, relocate that ditch to the extreme west of my property so that I can give you an easement, and that easement will be on the extreme west of the property without bisecting the property into two pieces, the left piece or the west piece being useless for development purposes. And that will impact my property negatively. So my suggestion is to relocate the stream to the extreme west. I don't think it's a substantial cost because it's only 1 foot deep, 2 feet wide. And I'll give you an easement so that you can do the proper maintenance and upkeep for that. And hopefully that would be acceptable. I don't think it's a much more cost than a berm that you suggested. Again, the technical objections and issues are clearly, very clearly written by my consultant and sent to you. So I don't need to go through them again, but I'd like to emphasize the solution. That's one of the three solutions that we're suggesting. My wife and I prefer this solution, and hopefully it will be supported by the county after 1 year or more than 1 year of discussion. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Do we have anybody else that has registered to speak?
We do not.
Does anybody in the meeting today who had not previously registered want to speak? Please do so by raising your hand. Okay, I am not seeing anybody indicating that they would like to speak. So we again appreciate your testimony, and seeing that everyone who wishes to speak has had an opportunity to do so, this concludes the oral testimony portion of the public hearing. Now we will move into the question and answer session. Again, please raise your hand or press *9 on your telephone keypad if you wish to ask a question. Once invited to speak, please unmute yourself by clicking on the microphone icon at the bottom of your screen or by pressing *6 on your telephone keypad. You're also welcome to type your questions into the chat. And if we run out of time before answering all questions, We will answer the remaining questions via email in the days to come. So does anybody have a question?
I have a message from Ann Awney, who would also like to speak. I don't know if they're under the same account or
Oh, yes. Let me.
it's the same account, actually.
Yeah.
Ed Awney.
Yes. Can you unmute yourself?
Yes, hi. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Yes, thank you. You know, I'm looking for the hand to raise the hand, and I'm not seeing the hand. I know there's a hand in Teams, but I'm not seeing it in the Zoom.
It's fine.
But yeah. So anyway, so I thank you. So I appreciate all the processes that Montgomery County has been put into this process, and we have sort of stated from the very beginning the fact that, as my husband says, you're basically taking all the storm water from that stretch. Joseph, do you want to put up your slide one, your first slide? Can you pop it up?
This one?
I'm not seeing it yet. So
The
I
map?
am seeing it.
are you not able to put it up?
Can you see the map?
The map, yeah, the first slide.
Yes.
It is
showing.
on, at least I
It's
can.
on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess there's a lag for me. I'm not seeing it. Let me just double check. Let me see. Yeah, no, I'm not seeing it. Anyway, basically all the storm water from that block, from that, cross section, from that roadway is going to be concentrated in a pipe. And it is going to be buried underground for a portion, but when it reaches our property, it's above grade, and we have this pipe of water that's coming out. And my husband and I have been living in Montgomery County for quite a while, and I'm retiring in 6 months. We were looking forward to taking that acre of property that's bisected by the stream. So from the stream all the way up, it's about an acre of property. We have started planting fruit trees. I'm looking forward to having a garden. We talked about a community garden of berries, but now I'm dealing with stormwater and contaminated water that's going to be entering sort of the garden area or the vegetable area. And I'm just really kind of frustrated that there are options available to you and that you have not been able to move to a way such that it remains the same, is that the water is being dumped on our property. So, we're asking you to, we have incurred quite additional expense, quite additional time. I mean, in addition to an engineer, we now have a lawyer on this. So we feel very strongly about it. And I was really looking forward to my retirement in Montgomery County, being able to do my gardening after spending 10, 12 hours a day in front of a computer. I was really looking forward to taking that acre property and turning it into something amazing, and also have a community input for the neighbors. So again, it has changed.
We can mention that you're working with the county on the green area. You're working with the county about that.
Right, and I have actually worked with the county. So there's a Rainscapes program. So I don't know whether you realize or not, but there is stormwater from other property owners that's entering our property. We are returning that to those individuals. And the county has already funded the Rainscape program to deal with the fact that we are in a low lying, it is a floodplain. And there's absolutely no reason for us to be the depository for the stormwater for the community. For my property, yes, but not for the whole community. So that comes down to the crux of the issue, and that is for Montgomery County to find a solution. But solutions that have been proposed haven't really moved the needle or really even addressed some of the issues. And I think at one point there was an approval of a process, and the chair did indicate that we had to sign off, right?
The vice chair of the planning board.
Right, recognize the issue, the fact that you have concentrated water coming in our property, and our property is within a 10-year flood zone. So it is low lying. And so again, it is not a good solution for us. But we have faith that you will at some point come up with, find an ability to listen to what we're saying and, use the great resources of Montgomery County and solutions successfully for all. So thank you.
Okay, thank you for that. Do you have a specific question related to this, or we just consider this as testimony?
You can consider it as testimony. I tried, again, I don't think you can raise your hand on this, and I did put something in
Yeah,
chat.
that's okay. It's fine. Yes.
Yeah.
If there is no question, I don't know if you've had an opportunity to look at the design that's been progressed to 90% yet, and if that is part of the letter that you've written, then that's fine. But if you want some clarification on the design, we can provide that during this Q&A session if you'd like.
No, we have the latest design and our letter addresses the latest design.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, does anybody else have a question about this project? Okay. Seeing that all questions have been answered, we will now conclude this hearing. As a reminder, again, additional written testimony may be submitted via email or the online written testimony form on the project website by scanning the QR code shown on your screen. It must be received by the close of this hearing record 1 month from today, that is on June 12th, 2026 by 6:30 p.m. Submissions sent by email should be sent to Huang Yen at huangyang@montgomerycountymd.gov. The email address is also displayed on your screen. And thank you again for joining us this evening. We appreciate your participation. We thank you for your testimony and questions. This public hearing is now concluded. Have a great evening, everyone.